Chapter 2 of Flesh in Fiction, the Birth Certificate, Booby Trap, How a Blessed Birth Became a Bonded Event, The Great Registration Riddle. The birth of a child is one of heaven's most joyful acts. The angels rejoice, the family celebrates, and somewhere deep in the archives of civil administration, a printer warms up. That printer is Babylon's midwife, and though it smiles politely, it is waiting for one thing: signature of the uninformed. When my child entered the world, I thought I was welcoming a soul. Instead, I was unknowingly filing for incorporation. A nurse brought forth papers, clean, official, and innocent looking. And I, in my excitement and exhaustion, signed every line. And I, in my excitement and exhaustion, signed every line. Little did I know, those forms were the first deed of trespass. The moment ink met paper, what heaven called a child, the state called a minor. What I called an heir, they called property of the jurisdiction. Render unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. Luke chapter 20, verse 25. That verse took on a whole new meaning once I realized I had rendered my seed to Caesar by consent. The legal sleight of hand. In the halls of equity, every act of creation carries two births, one living, one legal. The first comes through water and spirit, the second through ink and registration. The first belongs to the Most High, the second to the corporation. The first cries out, Abba, Father. The second files under state of. And thus, what began as flesh and blood becomes fiction and bond. This is the mystery of modern feudalism. The child becomes a franchise, the father a debtor, and the mother a co-applicant. Even Consuelo didn't see it. She was proud to have the birth official. To her, that meant legitimate. To the state, it meant registered asset. The ecclesiastical truth of birth. In Hebrew thought, a child's name was not given by the state, but by the father, and the act of naming was itself a trust appointment. When Adam named the creatures, he was not filling out forms. He was declaring dominion. When Abraham named Isaac, he was not registering property. He was acknowledging promise. So when I learned this truth, I wept, not for guilt, but for understanding. For I saw how the enemy of a state uses ignorance as its ink. They ask, who is the father? And while you probably answered, I am, the system quietly writes, applicant grants custody to the state. For lack of knowledge, the people perish. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. The mechanics of the trap. The birth record. Number 1, created to certify the event. The birth certificate. Number 2, created to scrutinize the event. The social security number. Number 3, created to monetize the event. Each layer adds a wall between your child and your covenant. Each signature a bridge to Caesar's administration. This is not conspiracy. This is commerce. And commerce, my brothers and sisters, never sleeps. The remedy of recognition. The first step to remedy is not rebellion. It is recognition. For you cannot correct what you do not comprehend. Once I saw that my child had both a spiritual and legal identity, I stopped fighting the fiction and started operating in truth. The law of equity teaches, equity regards as done that which ought to be done. So I began to regard my heirs not as dependents, but as beneficiaries. I recognized their living estate as superior to their legal registration. And from that moment forward, every act of mine was to restore what was transferred by ignorance. A father's humor and heaven's patience. I remember the day I marched into the county records office, scroll in hand, and asked the clerk, which one of these is the child of God and which one belongs to the corporation? She blinked twice and said, "Sir, we only handle certificates." I smiled, bowed, and replied, "Exactly." Even heaven laughed that day, for I finally learned how to be in the world, but not of it. Man, that's facts. The maxim of the house. That which is born of the Spirit remains. That which is registered returns. When you understand this, you stop running from systems and start restoring dominion. For the world of fiction only rules where man forgets his own authorship. Each of us has the power to correct the record, not by tearing down governments, but by standing up as living men and women of covenant, trustees of our lineages, caretakers of heaven's paperwork. The moral of the scroll. Do not curse the system, learn it. Do not fear the forms, master them. Do not flee from responsibility, redefine it. For a man who knows who he is will not be lost among documents. And a woman who knows what she carries will never sign her womb away to bureaucracy. Let every parent remember, a certificate may describe the birth, but it cannot define the breath. The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 27. Thus ends chapter 2 of Flesh and Fiction, a warning written in laughter and law that no man should ever mistake paperwork for parenthood, nor confuse registration with relationship.
This Hebrew house